Hello and a very warm welcome to the Form. Lots to get through as always this morning. We've got racing, of course, coming in from the Waikato this weekend. Not only that, but the Queensland Carnival in full swing. ZAAKI steps out again. We'll get into that a little bit later on. For now, though, let's have a look at what's on the agenda. Our first guest here on the show this morning is Craig Grills. He's got a couple of nice rides for the Stephen Marsh stable, including Windspeed and Mega Bourbon. Off the back of that, we get to Sam Weatherly, who's fresh off the back of success aboard Dark Destroyer. He's back on home soil this weekend. And then across the ditch to Todd Pollard, who of course is the right-hand man to Annabelle Neesham and ZAAKI. We find out the Neesham stable chances over the weekend. And then we wrap things up with a change of code as we get to Craig the Well Thompson to find out what's happening on the harness scene. Well, as promised, our first guest on the Form this morning is Craig Grills. Craig, great to have you with us and looking forward to going through these Waikato rides with you.
Yeah, g'day, Emily. Yep, thank you very much for having me on again.
Let's start with Swiss Kitty in race number 3. Second up, what did you make of that fresh run?
Yeah, second up on Saturday was a great run. First up, he sort of probably got just back in the field. And there's quite a lot of kickback that day, and he sort of was a bit hesitant to go. But once I peeled him to the outside, he let down really, really well. You know, another bound or two, and he was probably the winner.
1,400 metres, just a slight step up in distance, but the way he finished it off, it looks like that'll suit.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue for him at all. Probably does eventually want to get over a bit further trip, so it's going to be right up his alley, I'd say.
He seems like a really honest type, Craig. Is that sort of the impression he gives you?
Yeah, I really like the way he attacked the line the other day. He was strong running through the line, and you know, Robbie's team's absolutely flying at the moment, so they'll have him cherry ripe.
And then if we get along to race number 4, that's Windspeed. You must have been pretty happy with that latest run. It was a really good effort.
It was. The prior start to that at Counties sort of had no luck at all. It was locked away on the fence. But it was really good to actually get a run on him this time, and you know, actually headed the stablemate, and that's come back and beat us. But very gutsy sort of type.
Back to the 1,100 metres, does that hold any concern for you, or you feel it won't really make much difference?
No, I don't think so. Seems like a real sort of sprinting type of horse. So, like I say, dropping back to 1,100, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, especially if the ground is going to be a little bit wetter than what it was last time. Dropping back a distance probably shouldn't matter too much. And
obviously back to your own age group as well, and that can be a real plus with these horses, can't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it is a lot easier racing against their own age group. That's for sure. Not going up against the older, stronger types. So, no, from what I've felt from riding this horse in a couple of starts, has been quite encouraging. And obviously, the barrier draw sort of gives you options to be reasonably close if you want to. Is that sort of your thinking too? I think so. I think probably the best way to ride this one is, especially if you can begin all right, is probably to be not too far off the speed, and you know, has a good kick off it as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it does handle the softer going. But I have a feeling it won't be too much of a hindrance. And then race number 5, you've got All Black Bourbon in this one. Fresh up, thoughts on this gelding? Yeah, don't know a great deal about this guy, but you know, I see he's fresh up since mid-December, so he's had a good break, and he's just had the one trial to prepare for this. So I know Stephen will have him. He would be sending him to the races if he doesn't think he's ready to run a drum. That's for sure. And race number 6, Mega Bourbon, is your ride in this one. Looked like he tried really hard in that latest run. What were your impressions? Yeah, I was very happy with that. It was nice to be able to sort of get him a bit closer to the speed, and he's fought off really well. The horse that beat him, Tavere's obviously no slouch either. So yeah, really happy with the way he's going. Another one will be a bit interesting to see how he goes on the wetter going, but he definitely didn't give it away at Te Rapa last start. This is what we're watching, was your first ride on this horse, from what I understand. Is there anything you'd do differently, or any way you'd prefer to ride him now you've had the benefit of the experience? That's a good question, actually. I guess we'd probably just try and replicate the run we got the other day if we can, which would be good. but he seemed very genuine to me the other day. So we just hopefully he can be in that same mind frame.
And then race number 7, God of Eros, is your ride in this one. Just a third start. Looks like it's building to something. Do you feel that Saturday can be the day?
Yeah, last time at KUKERACHA, had a good trip throughout and was travelling into it quite nice. I actually thought he seemed. I thought he was going to really let down and be right in the finish there, but he just got a little bit wayward and just a bit green still. There was there's a couple of horses running around in front of him, but he just sort of seemed to not quite know what to do yet. So hopefully with a bit of experience under his belt, he can really let it down. But I did quite like the horse. He's a good moving animal, and he's definitely got ability there. So I think just when the penny drops, he'll be away. Yeah, I think he might have a few wins in him, this guy.
And obviously the noseband goes on, God of Eros. Was that your suggestion, or what difference can that make? Can that help at all?
I think it was probably more Shane's idea. I mean, I think he was getting his gob open a little bit during the run, so just to close his mouth can make them sort of just race a little bit more generously through the race in the early stages. So hopefully that can help him.
And then in race number 8, Canadian Girl. This horse was in the Ellis Fillies Classic 3 starts ago, so they obviously think a little bit of it. What have you made of those runs since?
Yeah, the team has obviously got a nice sort of opinion of her there. Yeah, she hasn't been far away in most of them, so it's a significant drop back from that the Ellis Fillies Classic there. So and dropping back to the mile too. So get a nice run. Hopefully can be pretty competitive. I know Rogan and Richie are pretty happy with it.
And Craig, before we let you go, obviously it looks like we're going to have a couple of trips across the ditch yet for the Queensland Winter Carnival. You must have been pretty stoked to see Nom de Plume win. That really should have you nicely wrapped up for the Queensland Oaks.
Yeah, very lucky to be going over. Robbie's taken me over to ride a couple of his horses. So I'm pretty fortunate and pretty thankful to him and his owners for taking me over. So that's really good. But yeah, I didn't see the race yesterday, but just heard it on the radio. It sounded like she was pretty impressive. I rode her this Calandra on the grass here a couple of weeks back, and I know Robbie said she'd had a bit of problem with her tying up, and it was quite a wet track that day. So she's obviously come through that really good, and she's pretty fresh legs going into the Oaks. So she's always come across as a nice sort of staying filly in the making. So hopefully she can live up to that.
And you were just telling us before we started this interview, you're also going, not this weekend, but the next weekend for the Fearless one, which is another really nice opportunity for Robbie Patterson. Yeah,
that's right. He's a really quite an exciting up-and-coming stayer. He's working his way through the grades, which is really good. He was pretty dominant throughout there a week or two back, and yeah, so he's in the Premier's Cup 2200, and then his main goal is the Brisbane Cup early in June. So very looking forward to riding him. He's a very exciting up-and-coming stayer.
Well, Craig, thank you so much for your time this morning. Great to talk through all of those rides, and best of luck if we don't talk to you before those feature races in Queensland.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Up next is jockey Sam Weatherly. He joins us on the form this morning. And Sam, first off, a massive congratulations off the back of Dark Destroyer's success. That must have just been such a buzz for you.
Thank you, Emily. It was a huge thrill for me on Saturday, especially just because I'm a very proud Kiwi, and for us to go over there and get the job done against some good horses, good trainers, good jockeys. It was pretty special, and to do it on a horse that I've had so much to do with made it even more special.
Just looking at the replay here, the track was deteriorating as we're watching the replay, and the weather was terrible. Just such a tough effort by Dark Destroyer, wasn't it?
It was a very tough effort. Like he's had to sustain a nice run from about the 800 metres, and he's got to the top of the straight and front and had a good look around, and like that's his first step up over ground, so that's his first time over a mile, anything further than a mile, and for him to sort of win like that, the way he did, it's just, he just keeps filling me with so much confidence, the horse.
What about heading up over the distance of the Derby? Does he give you the impression that he'll keep on finding right the way over the staying distance?
Yeah, for sure. Like even after that run there, look, you look at it and you see he's had a bit of a tough run. He's sort of worked around 3 and 4 wide and hit the lead early on and withstayed a strong gallop. And I really struggled to pull him up after the race. So he's sort of, when that other horse got to him, he really found again. And through the line, I was struggling to pull him up. So I believe 2400 will be no issues whatsoever.
And Sam, pretty important win for your career as well, to take a stakes race like that in Australia, and as you said, for Kiwi connections, really, really special for you too. Hopefully it's the platform for something further, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I've had a kind of a breakthrough season really this year, and it was really good to tick another thing off the bucket list. So just got to keep the ball rolling, and you know what it's like. It's always just got to look for that next winner and keep it up. But just trying to give every horse every possibility, and yeah, very happy with the way how things have gone.
Hopefully the next bucket list winner is the Group 1, the Queensland Derby in a couple of weeks' time. Let's focus our attention back on Saturday's action coming in from Te Rapa. And in race number 2, you ride Ramirez. Tell me about this one. Form might be a little bit hard for punters to read. Back to the 1200 metres here as well.
Yep, I actually think this horse is a decent chance on Saturday with a little bit of rain around. Probably needs a little bit more rain to come, which I'm looking outside now and it's absolutely bucketing down in Matamata. So if they get in that in Te Rapa, he's got to be a chance. He probably should have won a race really when I run 4th on him. He sort of hit the wet to come through to win and just been a bit green, and he sort of run away from the other horse and done a few things wrong. And yeah, I think he could be a bit of an improver on a wet track.
And then race number 3, Silverdale Chief, is your next ride. 2 runs back have been really good, haven't they?
Yeah, he looks like a consistent galloper who's always thereabouts, and he meets a nice race. I see he has one on a heavy 8, and I think Te Rapa might sort of be that track that it's not going to get sort of bottomless, so it could suit him as well.
And then race number 4, Eridor, is your ride in this one. A last start winner, and it was a 5.3 length margin, so certainly a dominant performance. Led last time. Do you think be able to try those tactics again?
Yeah, for sure. I seen it was a good win, and sort of 3 starts back when he ran second, he looked like he was going to win as well, and he sort of led and kicked off the corner and put up a big chasing margin and just got run down late. So that seems to be where he's most happiest. He won 2 trials like that earlier on. So if he can sort of jump and from a nice soft gate as well, which is going to help and roll along, he might be a chance as well. Look, he's probably going to have to cope with rain-affected conditions. So hopefully he can get through them.
And then in race number 5, Canny Man is your next ride. You were aboard for that last start 3rd. Tell us about your thoughts post-race.
Yep, I was very happy with him. He was sort of, we jumped, running the trail, and then because the track was a little bit off, we've sort of been from on the fence to everyone scouted wide on the corner, and he just sort of got lost a little bit, like when we had to go from travelling to sort of went from 0 to 100, and he's had to come out, and he's just got a little bit lost, and the handbrake was on a little bit, but look, he still only had 1 preparation, so he's still learning, but I think he can gallop, so he could be a chance from Barrier 1 as well.
Do you feel that the 1300 metres is okay, that'll suit this horse?
Definitely. I think he's a horse in time that'll get up to a mile at least, so 1300 is a nice stepping stone.
And then race number 7, Time and Again, is your next ride. Lightly race type and a first ride for you. Have you been able to have a little look at what this horse has been up to prior to Saturday?
Yeah, I've had a little look. First couple of starts, she looked like she done a couple of things wrong and over raced and whatnot. And it was good to see her sort of hitting the line quite strongly last start. So again, she's going to have to cop a rain-affected track. Whether she likes that or not, I'm not too sure. But her run was encouraging enough last time to suggest that up to the mile there, that she could be a nice enough chance.
Probably disappointing, obviously wide draw here and had to go back, and you get that wide draw again, so might be limited to having to go back again.
Yeah, I think so. That sort of seems to be the racing pattern, that she sort of over raced a bit early on in her career, so we don't really want to do that again. Yeah, I'll talk to Roger and Robert and see what they want to do.
Before we move on to your final horse, we just noticed the little cat beside you with the pink collar on. What's the cat called?
Yeah, her name's Missy. So she's she's been with us for a few months now. So she's a little menace actually. I think she's destroys everything. So yeah, she keeps us on her toes for sure.
And then finally, if we get to race number 8, Sam, Catwalk Girl, really good run 2 starts ago for you. How will she be placed today, do you feel?
Yep, I really like this horse. I've had a little bit to do with her in her career, and I just think maybe last time she's just that type of horse, she might have just been ridden a little bit too handy. I've done it before in the past as well, where you just try and give her every possible chance, and I just think she could be a horse that's better off just being ridden a little bit quiet like she was when she won, and then sort of what it was like 2 starts ago at Palmy. So and she seems to handle rain affected going, so I'd probably look to ride her a similar way, just get back there to find her feet, and she's definitely good enough to win anyway.
And Sam, as we always do, we're going to put you on the spot and ask you what you think your best ride is there on Saturday at Waikato.
I think we'll wait to the last race and Catwalk Girl. I think just run a little bit quieter and rain affected going, she could be hard to beat.
Thanks so much for your time today, Sam. Great to have you on the show, and best of luck in a couple of weeks' time with Dart Destroy. The Kiwis here will be cheering you home.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Now time to head across the ditch on the form to expat Kiwi and Todd Pollard, who of course works for the Annabelle Neesham stable. And Todd, just before we started this interview, you're telling me some exciting news. You're not just in Queensland for the Winter Carnival, but actually running the Queensland stable for Annabelle Neesham. That's pretty exciting for you.
Yeah, it is. It's a good opportunity. It's going to be a great learning experience for me coming up here and making a few more decisions myself. Obviously, for me, plan is to eventually train, but it's probably the last step before going out on my own. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, this time of year with the Winter Carnival on, it's very exciting. We've got plenty of nice horses in the stable, so a bit more pressure at the moment for the next 4 weeks or so, but yeah, looking forward to seeing how it all develops as the future progresses.
And whereabouts are you based? Were you saying taking over Michael Costa's stable? How many boxes do you have there?
Yeah, so Michael Costa, he's gone to Dubai, so we've taken over probably half of his horses, along with our horses that we've sent up, both for the carnival and probably horses that struggle in Sydney a little bit. So we can have up to 40 horses. We're almost full at the moment, so we've hit the ground running with plenty of horses. And we're based at the Gold Coast track. It's a exciting place to be. They're redeveloping the course itself. They're going to put a night racing in the stables that we're in. They're also going to be knocking them down and building new ones for us the next couple of months as well. So it should be the place to be in a year or two's time, and yeah, good to be here for the start of it.
Yeah, I bet. A couple of nice horses that you've got up there for the Queensland Winter Carnival are obviously Holyfield and ZAAKI. If we start with Holyfield in race number 6, fresh up on the 7th of May in the Archer, obviously that new race at Rockhampton. 4th, what was the feedback post-race?
Yeah, it was a good runner. He always progresses the deeper he gets into a preparation. So it was a good experience taking him up to the Archer. We thought he'd be competitive. He had trialled probably better than he had the previous campaign, and he actually ran well. He was probably looked to be beaten a long way out, but he stuck to his guns nicely and should take nice natural improvement. And yeah, obviously linking up with a former Kiwi as well as Sam Collett to take the ride on Saturday, and it probably looks a pretty open race. And if he's at his best, he can definitely pop up. And yeah, there's no no reason he's not a legitimate top 3 chance and could even go on to win the race.
Obviously, last week we saw the races transferred to Eagle Farm from Doomben in the really wet track conditions. How much does that affect Holyfield's chances heading into that next run?
Yeah, he's one of the few I'm Invincibles that actually like a wet track, so we're not too concerned. It's probably just a bit of a worry about how much rain we're going to get on the day come Saturday for Doomben. They obviously they were transferred last Saturday, and even on Tuesday we took these 2 runners for Saturday up to Eagle Farm for a course proper gallop, and Annabelle went and she walked the course proper at Doomben on Tuesday, and it was still very, very wet then. So yeah, fingers crossed we don't cop too much rain on Saturday, because it could put pay to a few chances.
Yeah, exactly right. Race number 7 is ZAAKI, obviously the poster boy for the stable, taking his place in the Doomben Cup. He was so good fresh in that Hollandale Cup. You must have been really, really happy with how this campaign's kicked off after that brief freshen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's quite a phenomenal horse. He's amazing. Very privileged to be working with a horse like him. He's probably a once-in-a-lifetime animal, and he's just so quirky. He's got a, probably arrogant personality. He thinks he knows he's as good as what he is. And yeah, it was good to see him do it at Gold Coast that day. The track was quite puggy, which wasn't to his liking. He wins, but probably doesn't win as well as he did the previous year, where he goes into this race and then really announced himself on the scene, especially in the Doomben Cup. So I think come Saturday, it's going to be a heavy track, but it could be a loose, heavy track. Suits horses like Polly Gray and KUKERACHA as well, who ran really well in the Hollandale. So you've got to respect them. But hopefully he's at the top of his game. There's no reason that he's not, based on how he's been working. But like I say, the wet track, as heavy as it's going to be, could be a little bit of a handicap, and hopefully not too much of a detriment to his chances.
Is there anything that you do differently sort of out of that Hollandale Cup, where he has had such a tough run? Do you sort of button off for a few days and just let him bounce back, or did he come through it really well?
Oh, absolutely not. He came through it too well, actually. Yeah, we had to take him to Eagle Farm on Saturday for exhibition gallop between races, just because he was just unbelievably fresh coming out of the run. Yeah, we sort of basically had to canter him 3 laps on the Thursday out of it, because even on the Wednesday he was kicking up his heels and trying to buck the rider off going onto the track. So we've had to get him nice and relaxed, and he's had a couple of good hit-outs both on Saturday and Tuesday away at Eagle Farm. I mean, it's not like it's just a course proper gallop at home. It is an hour float trip up there, but he does handle the travelling very, very well. He's been there, done that, and yeah, look, we've just knocked a little bit of the freshness off him, but yeah, we'll just button it off now. We went on the treadmill this morning just for an easy canter, and tomorrow we'll just take him to the beach, and Saturday we'll just go out for a little trot before he races, so he'll get the freshness back in his legs. But yeah, it was quite remarkable how well he came through that run in the Hollandale.
Pretty proud of himself, I'd say. Let's focus our attention on Sydney, because you've got a couple of runners there as well. Hopeful at Rose Hill in the Lord Mayor's Cup. Just the one run in Australia with a second. You must have been pretty happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. He's always been a nice horse, and another European that came into the barn. But even just in his early days when he was doing evens, you could just see the quality in him. He's got a beautiful action, just a nice, he's a real typical European stayer. So the further he goes, the better he's going to get. Step up distance is going to really suit, and probably didn't expect him to run this well first up over the mile, I think it was. So obviously on Saturday with a little bit further, and then probably a race like the Q22 a couple of weeks after that's going to really suit him over 2200. But anything up to 2400, 2000 to 2400, he really comes into his element, and yeah, we think he's a pretty nice horse.
And then in race number 9, Bartholomew Diaz is your charge in this one. Haven't had him in your stable that long. What can you tell us about this one?
No, he's an older horse that's come to us from another trainer. He'll probably need a couple of runs to show his best. He is an older horse now, and came to us. He's a big, solid European that actually carries a lot of condition. So we'll give him a couple of runs, and hopefully we can see him at his best once he gets a bit more work into him, a few more races under his belt.
And obviously you've got the claim off the top weight, and that'll just bring him into it a little bit more, won't it?
Yeah, exactly. Ellen's our stable apprentice, so she sort of deserves her chances, especially over the winter months. She's been riding really well since coming to us she's probably been with us for about 4 or 5 months now, but yeah, she's got a great personality, and hopefully she can knock a few winners back over the winter months down in Sydney.
A horse that isn't racing this weekend, but certainly looks like a live chance heading towards the JJ Atkins is Swiss Exile. Tell us about Swiss Exile and that pretty impressive win last time.
Yeah, that was a great result for the team. He was backed off the map, actually. He was one of the only maiden horses in the field in the Group 2 last Saturday. And we probably expected to go forward, especially the way the track was playing. We wanted to be in the first 5, but as you can see, he actually jumped so well, he ended up out in front and just kept running. And it was pretty tough up the straight. Looked like the outside horse did have his measure, but he kept fighting the whole way. And yeah, it was a great result for the owners, the team that bought him from Magic Millions Adelaide sale, I think it was, last year. So they put a syndicate together, and yeah, it's a great result to have a Group 2 winning colt, and hopefully he's not done with, because he's a lovely horse. He's a big, strong animal, and he's come through perfect. He's got a great attitude. You wouldn't even know he's a colt, actually.
And Todd, we always ask what you think your best chance is on Saturday, but I feel I might know the answer. Would ZAAKI be the best chance on Saturday?
Yeah, 100%. Hopefully we can get the job done. There's obviously a bit of pressure there, but yeah, if we can win the Doomben Cup, and then whether he goes on to a race like the Q22 again, or be is put aside for the Spring Carnival, and hopefully we can finally get back to the Cox Plate, and yeah, if all goes well, we'll actually turn up on the day and race, and hopefully we'll go close in that as well.
Well, Todd, thanks so much for your time this morning. Great to chat with you, and good luck with the new venture there in Queensland, and fingers crossed you can get some winners along the way in the Queensland Winter Carnival.
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
Switching things up now on the form, because we get into some harness action, and Friday night most definitely delivers in the form of Alexandra Park. To talk us through all of the form is Craig the Whale Thompson. Craig, great to have you on the form this morning, and we're in for a real treat, aren't we? And things really kick off with Sunday's Sun. Looking forward to seeing this horse stepping out.
Yeah, good morning, Emily. Great to be on the form. Yeah, looking forward to him. He's chasing his 11th Group 1 win, Sunday's Sun, so he's a wonderful horse. Of course, he's actually chasing 3 wins in this race. He's won the 2 previous years. He's, I think, about $1.40 at the moment, Emily. Small field. Congratulations to the club getting this race off the ground. If Yuri and Kim Kardashian hadn't nominated on Tuesday afternoon, this race wouldn't have got off the ground. So big congratulations to those owners to get this race off the ground. It's worth $100,000. It's a Group 1, and this is him winning the national trot last time, beating his rival here in the black colours, Bolt for Brilliance. And of course, Muscle Mountain in the green colours lined up last Friday, Emily, and won, of course, the mile at Cambridge, defeating Bolt for Brilliance. He's over a longer trip near unbeatable, 2,200 on Friday night. Be interesting. The start, he'll get crossed again because Bolt for Brilliance has got that natural gate speed, and we know how potent he is. He beat him in the Lyell Creek when he was in front. That was on Harness Millions night on the 12th of February. So he has beaten Sunday Sun before. But the way that he's going at the moment, and the domination that he showed in that national trot, it's very hard to tip against him. So I'm looking forward to this race. It's a time-honoured race. He's looking to have 3 wins in this race, and I think he'll be doing it.
It's not just about Sunday's Sun, is it, on Friday? Because you've also got race number 10 on that card, the Roy Purdon Memorial Handicap Pace. And we get a treat. We get to see Self-Assured in this one. We do. Tricky race from him, and I'm not tipping him, Emily, and that's unusual for, I think, the best horse racing in New Zealand at the moment. 20-metre handicap over 2,200 is a real tricky race from him. It's the Roy Purdon Memorial. This is the inaugural running of it, and it's going to be a race that I think will build, because he was a legend of the harness racing game, and he's got his sons in this race with Mark and Barry having runners with Self-Assured, Mac Dan and Bad to the Bone, Better Twist. They've got a good chance in here, but just on Self-Assured, this is him running second in the Messenger, beaten by the Aussie and Majestic Cruiser. Now,
You got to remember the Auckland Cup's next week, so this is not his end goal. It'd be a lovely race to win, sentimentally wise, for Roy Purdon, but a tricky race for punters to really get involved in. $1.50, I've seen a lot of horses of a 20-metre handicap beaten at Alexandra Park. Sunday Sun did that. It's a very, very tricky race. I like KANGO here, Emily. I reckon he's worth a play. He won the Franklin Cup. Standing start at Auckland on the 31st of December. He raced brilliantly at Addington, winning down there. And I thought his mile the other night at Cambridge was excellent. He was on the speed, he couldn't find the front, and he only ran the third best sectionals out of the race. KANGO would be my play. Maybe not the $5 to win, but I tell you what, there's a top 2 option as we speak. $2. I reckon jump on that. I reckon he's a really good bet to run top 2 is KANGO.
And then on the undercard, Craig, race number 6 certainly attracts the eye, and the favourite in that one, Queen of Diamonds.
Really good filly, this, Emily, and I was surprised the bookmakers put up $2.80 on Wednesday afternoon. I thought she was a very, very good bet on Friday night. I know she's taken on MONACO Grace from the Mark Jones barn, who's been very good down deep south. But have a look at this filly. So we're highlighting the horse right down the very outside in the blue colours. Now, she was stone motherless last at the 800. I put a clock on her. She ran the best sectionals in this race by a long way, 56.6. And have a look at the last 100 metres. I reckon she made up 6 to 8 lengths. I know this grade of horse is not as good as what she meets on Friday night, but I think that she's a really building filly, and she's a big, scopy, leggy thing that I think will just get better. When she debuted, of course, she won at Ashburton and beat Chambray, who's gone on to win again. Then she was very good in winning 2 starts ago, came to Cambridge. I think she'll come off that race and bounce off that race. And a $50,000 event on a Friday night, I reckon they would have targeted with her. So I think she's the one to beat. And I actually don't mind Mr. KAPLAN, Group 2 winner of the Delightful Lady Classic earlier on in her career. Brilliant gate speed, very quiet trial the other day, $5. Don't mind 7 and 8 in race number 6. It's going to be an intriguing contest, but Queen of Diamonds potentially going forward. I think she's a filly you can watch.
Well, Craig, sounds like a great night of racing there on Friday at Alexandra Park. Thanks so much for your time this morning, and good luck with your investments there as we get towards the weekend. Yeah, good luck with the punters on the weekend's racing with the Gallops Code, Emily, on the weekend, and you're looking forward to bringing you all the action. What has been going to be a great Group 1 night at the park on Friday. Well, that wraps up another great show here on The Form. It's been awesome to have your company, and best of luck with your investments over the weekend. If you'd like to have a bet in any of those races you've heard about, don't forget to head to www.tab.co.nz. From all of us here at The Form, a very good morning.